Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, this is my co-host Teddy, and today we're checking out a gaming mouse from a company I've never checked out before. So this is the Zelotes F14 Professional Wireless Gaming Mouse. And I have to give a shout out to lighttake.com for providing me with this gaming mouse to review. So yeah, great online company, great online shop. Definitely check them out. I'll leave links down in the description to this gaming mouse and also to their website in general. So let's jump right in then with the key specs. So this is a wireless gaming mouse, as I just said. The receiver is actually in the base, which sort of I probably should have expected, but it took me a little while to find it. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. If you did buy this, that's where the receiver is. It isn't in the box. Now, sensor-wise, it's an optical sensor with 4 DPI levels. So you get 600, 1000, 1600, and 2400. I had it set to 2400 the whole time because, as many of you guys know, I like a very high DPI settings, especially since I'm usually using 4K displays. Now, polling rate, you get to pick out of 250 or 500 Hertz. Would have liked 1000 Hertz, but 500 will still get you by. It has blue LED lighting on the rear here, on the side, and also up on the scroll wheel. Weight-wise, it's coming in at 115 grams, which is slightly on the heavier side, I would say, very slightly, but it's still a pretty reasonable weight. We see a lot hover around the 100 to 115 gram mark these days. Now, it actually is battery powered, so yeah, that's quite interesting. It takes 2 AA batteries, which just go in the bottom there. I would advise you to get rechargeable batteries if you're thinking about buying it, as you know, that'll work out much better in the long run than buying new batteries. You should probably just get rechargeables to begin with in the first place. Much better deal than using just normal batteries and buying more when they run out. And on that note, it does chug through them quite fast. So if you're using the computer quite often, like I am, then it will probably get through them in about a week. So yeah, you're definitely going to be wanting to get those rechargeables, although the standby time is very good. Now let's talk about the looks then. So I would say they are very ambitious. That's how I would put it. It looks, super gamer focused, which I suppose is probably a pretty good thing. To me, it sort of looks a bit cyborg, like it's all different parts that just got put together rather than one overall design, which is quite cool in some ways. I do quite like it in some ways, but yeah, I don't think it's bad looking. I just think it looks a little bit strange to me. Yeah, it just a little bit too sort of disjointed, I would say, but definitely not bad. It's going to really get people's attention. If you're wanting a subtle gaming mouse, this probably isn't it. That's for sure. But let's move on to comfort then, because you can see it is quite ergonomically designed on the sides, and comfort-wise, it was actually really nice. Your fingers rest really nicely on them. It is quite large, and I do have quite large hands, so that works out nicely. But yeah, it's just a nice, comfortable gaming mouse to use. I liked the weight. I liked the way my fingers rested on it. It was just really good. So comfort-wise, I have no complaints with it. However, the sensor isn't the best though, although it's definitely not the worst I've tested. Compared to my Ducky, which I use, my Ducky Secret Mouse, which is my normal mouse I always use, it felt noticeably inaccurate at times. It could also be the fact that I'm using such a high DPI with it. Maybe if you're a low DPI user, you probably wouldn't notice it as much. Compared to a very stock standard, say like a Microsoft mouse or something like that, it's going to be an improvement. But compared to many of the other gaming mice out on the market, yeah, you will notice it. But it's not really the end of the world. It's mainly I notice it when I'm trying to do things that require a lot of accuracy, like clicking between letters on a word or something when I'm writing my scripts and stuff like that. Those are the type of times I really did notice a little bit of inaccuracy there. Now let's talk about the buttons and the scroll. So the right and left click are pretty good. They've got quite a bit of travel, but they do have a nice tactile click, so that was quite good. The side buttons, though, are the real Achilles heel of this gaming mouse. On the left-hand side, they're just too low down. Their positioning is really bad. that's a big problem for me because my thumb would cover them, and I would often accidentally backclick on web pages and stuff like that and go back, like out of a video or something, and it got quite annoying. So for people like me with quite large hands, that might be an issue. So that is something I really didn't like about it. I would have liked them to have moved the buttons up maybe a little bit higher, or made them smaller, or just figured out a way that they would be more out of the way, because they really are in the way. The scroll wheel, on the other hand, is just decent. It's quite spongy, it's quite slow, but it is nice and grippy, and it does scroll all right. So I would say, the scroll wheel's only okay, I'll put it that way. Now, as far as software goes, there's no software, so you don't really have to worry about that. Which brings us now to the conclusion, and what do I make of the Zelotes F14 Professional Wireless Gaming Mouse? So with a price of $16.15 on lighttech.com, it's quite a good deal. That's a very, very cheap gaming mouse, which is to be expected with the sort of lack of features that it has. But it still actually punches quite a bit above its weight for that very, very low price. So what I would say is I would recommend this one as like a backup gaming mouse or a travel gaming mouse. That would be probably its best thing as a travel mouse, because you don't want to take something super expensive because you might lose it or something. So this would be very, very good for a travel mouse. Definitely good enough to get you by while you're overseas and doing things like that. So that's what I would put it. That's where its main strength is as a travel gaming mouse, and that's what I would recommend it mostly for. If you're just wanting it to just use, you just want a cheap one to get you by maybe until you can afford to get a more expensive gaming mouse, then that would also do quite well. So that's how I would put it. But if I wouldn't probably buy it as a long-term one that you're going to use, just because there's better options out there. You could just save up a bit more money and get something a little bit better. So that's basically how I would put it. On the go, need something maybe just for college and stuff as well, just to get you by, something that you wouldn't be so heartbroken if it got stolen or broke or something like that. Then definitely check this guy out. Now, I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.